Hello, Young Web here. In this video, we're going to talk about song structure from a piano standpoint. And if you watch until the end, I will be sure to provide you with a surprise. So here, I'm going to show you about as far as piano is concerned, right? When you're learning a song, you really need to know what is happening in terms of patterns. Because if you pick up on those patterns, it actually makes learning songs a lot easier. And this works if you are a complete beginner. I will give you some examples. This isn't really a how-to tutorial, but this is something just to kind of keep in mind as you're going through songs that you are learning. And I have tons of tutorials in different songs in this channel. So just make sure that you search around after you watch this video. So when we talk about song structure, right, what I'm going to talk about is going to apply to pretty much mostly pop and R&B. Maybe some neo-soul. Jazz doesn't really follow this formula as often as pop and R&B and neo-soul and gospel songs do. So here's how it works, right? If you're listening to a song, you're actually hearing the song be broken up into different parts. And those different parts can be changed either by the melody or it can be changed by the chords, right? And sometimes, the chords in the verse the chords and the melody can change altogether. So let's take, and I might use one or two examples. I'm kind of just improvising here with this tutorial. Now, so if I have time, I may use different examples. So one of the examples I would like to use is going to be a song by John Legend called Ordinary People. Again, this isn't a tutorial on how to play it. I do have a tutorial on how to play Ordinary People. I will provide it in the link. As a link in the description box. And so here, we're talking about this song. Ba, 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 right? Now, usually the first part of an R&B or a pop song or neo-soul song, depending on what you're listening to, is what's called the verse, right? You hear people say verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that when you're hearing a verse, right, and the verse for this part, even though I'm the worst when it comes to lyrics, so just forgive me if I forget the words. This is when he sings, girl, I've been loving you. This ain't no honeymoon. Past the infatuation phase. Right in the thick of love. Times we get sick of love. Seems like we argue every day, right? Now, if you notice, the chords are going to sound like this. So, girl, I've been loving you. This ain't the honeymoon. Past the infatuation phase, right? So you have this chord. Sorry. Let me see. This chord. This chord. And it repeats again. So right now you just want to just listen to what I'm playing. Right? So, girl, I've been loving you. I keep playing the wrong notes, my goodness. Girl, I've been loving you. This ain't the honeymoon. Past the infatuation phase, right? And then he sings it again. So this is where those patterns are going to be really important to learn because this will help you actually cut down the time it takes to learn a song. So even when he sings different lyrics for the next part, right in the thick of love, times we get sick of love, seems like we argue every day. If you notice, the chords are exactly the same. Right in the thick of love. Times we get sick of love. Seems like we argue every day. So when you're listening to a verse and you're trying to figure out the chords, sometimes what happens is they may just loop the same exact chords that you played in the beginning, even if the lyrics themselves change. So when you're playing verses, you want to listen for that, right? Now, let's go back to that. Now that's verse 1. If you listen to the song, he actually goes to verse 2, which I think is take it slow, take it slow, this time we'll take it slow. Then he sings, this ain't the movie, no fairy tale conclusion, y'all. It gets more confusing every day. And something. But again, even though it's verse 2 and it's completely different lyrics, even if there's a change in the melody, again, you're going to literally recycle the same chords you played in verse 1. So you're not learning the same exact, you're not learning a new chord progression. You're playing the same exact chord progression. This ain't a movie, no. No fairy tale conclusion, y'all. Gets more confusing every day. And then I think it's like, sometimes it's heaven sent. And something like that. Ba 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 ba. But again, if you listen, the chords are exactly the same. Ba 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 ba. Right? Now, here's where things get interesting. That is the verse, right? So that's why you have the verse. The verse is more like the softer part of the song. It's not the main part of the song, which is the chorus, or we call it the hook. We'll come back to that in a second. Now, the thing that sometimes happens, it may or may not happen in a song. Sometimes people will go from verse straight to the chorus, but sometimes there's an intermittent part called the pre-hook or the pre-chorus, right? Now, in the song Ordinary People, it does have a pre-hook where he goes, and I know I must be hating, you make your mistakes, and we both. So the pre-hook is kind of like the build up to the chorus. It's not the main part, but it's like an intermittent part. And in most cases, the melody changes. So as opposed to him going, now he's singing, ba 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 ba, right? And of course, the lyrics change as well. Now this is important because sometimes when you're dealing with a pre-hook, in this case, it's convenient because even though there's a pre-hook, guess what happens? You're still going to use the same exact chord progression, right? Ba 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 ba. The same exact chords you use for ba 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 ba. So when you're listening for songs, right, listen for whether or not the chords change between the verse and the pre-hook. Now, if you have a song like the Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You, right, the verse is when she sings, what does she sing? Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live just for the power. Yeah. Some people live, right? So that is one chord progression. But then when she does the pre-hook, some people think that the physical things, the chord progression does change. So when you are listening for the pre-hook, just watch for any changes in chord progressions. Sometimes it changes from the verse to pre-hook. But sometimes, in this case of the John Legend song, the chord progression is the same for the pre-hook as it is for the verse. Before I get into the chorus, I do want to bring to your attention that I do have a free piano in 3 steps video. If you are a complete beginner and want to get your foot in the door with regards to piano, that video is going to be helpful. It gets you into naming the keys and also shows you step by step on how to play both hands together with chords and all of that. So that video is going to be in the description box. It's free to sign up. Make sure you sign up before you leave this tutorial. Now let's get into the chorus, right? Now, again, there may be a pattern where the verse, the pre-hook, and the chorus are going to have the same exact chord progression. Now, these songs are going to be easier to learn because in most cases, you're just recycling the same exact 3 or 4 chords in the whole song, right? So here, I chose this song for this reason. When he sings with the chorus part, we're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go because we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. So again, we know it's the main part of the song because the chorus is going to be the same when it comes back to it. It's the main part of the song. It's like, the height of the song, so to speak. And he uses the same melody and the same lyrics when he comes back to the chorus again and again throughout the whole song. So that's the thing that makes the chorus different than the verse and the pre-hook, where when you come back to the chorus, the melody is the same and the lyrics are the same. Whereas if you're going from verse 1 to 2, the melody may be the same, but the lyrics change. Same thing happens with the pre-hook. In most cases, if you're going back to the pre-hook a second time, the melody is the same, but the lyrics may change. But the chorus will stay the same for the most part, no matter how many times you come back to it. So what is important to know about the chorus for particularly ordinary people? Guess what? The chord progressions, just like the verse and the pre-hook, are the same. So, sorry. We're just ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. And then, cause we're ordinary people. I think the first part was, we don't know which way to go. So we're just literally recycling the same 3 chords that we played for the verse and the pre-hook. We're just bringing it into the chorus. So this does happen sometimes when you're playing a song. And the same thing happens, by the way, with the Alicia Keys song, right? Well, not really. If you think about the intro, right? Again, this isn't a tutorial, I just want you to listen. The chords that you hear for the chorus, some people want it all, is the same chords from the intro. So listen, some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. But the difference between the Alicia Keys song and the John Legend song is that the chords that occur in the verse, the pre-hook, and the chorus are going to be different. But in terms of, the way the verse is approached, same thing happens. Verse 1, verse 2, the melody is the same, but the lyrics change. Same thing happens with the pre-hook. The melody is, different, the same, but the lyrics are different. But when she sings, some people want it all, when she sings it, I think she sings it like maybe 2 or 3 times, the chorus is the same, which means the melody is the same, the lyrics are the same, and the chords are the same, right? So whatever the chords are for the verse part, whether it's verse 1 or 2, the chords are going to be the same for both verses in most cases. Whatever the chords are for the pre-hook, even if it changes from the verse, it's still going to be the same as far as the chords if you come back to the pre-hook. Same thing happens with the chorus. If you come back to the chorus, whatever the chords you played the first time will be the same the second time, no matter what's going on with the melody and the lyrics. Now let's talk about one final part, which is going to be the bridge. The bridge is going to sometimes be either present or absent, which is one of the reasons why I chose the John Legend song, because it does have a bridge. Now the bridge is going to be completely different than the verse, hook, and the chorus. In this case, even the chords themselves are going to change. Again, this is not a tutorial, I just want you to listen. So up to this part, right, we've been playing these chords. Right? But then there's a change in color when we get to take it slow. So completely different chord. Maybe we'll stay, maybe we'll leave, maybe you'll return. So sometimes the difference in the bridge is that not only does the melody and the lyrics change, but also the chords would change. And usually the bridge is only played once, whereas the verse is played, you may have verse 1, 2, 3, you may have the pre-hook played a couple times. The chorus is mostly going to be played multiple times. Usually the bridge only happens once, and it happens kind of towards between the middle and the end of the song, and usually it's going to have a change in melody, a change in lyrics, and a change in the chords. Sometimes the chords will be the same throughout the entire song, whether you're playing the verse, pre-chorus, or chorus. But in this case, the chords do change. Maybe we'll live and learn. Maybe we'll crash and burn. So as you're going through, again, when you're learning songs, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you want to kind of pay attention to those patterns, because when you see, the same chords are happening in the verse as the pre-chorus, as the chorus, then it cuts down the time it takes for you to actually learn the song. Again, this isn't really a tutorial. This is more of like a concept in terms of song structure and how you should approach it when it comes to learning the piano. So if this was helpful, I did say I was going to give you guys a surprise. So an actual tutorial I'm going to share with you is 2 key chords that you need to play pop piano music. That is a tutorial on how to play actual chords. I will provide that in a link in the top right corner of this video. If this was helpful, please make sure that you subscribe, turn on the notification bar, and make sure that you, or the notification bell, whatever that thing is called. And again, I will post videos once a week, so when I post them, you will get a notification if you turn on the notification bell. And again, if you like it, make sure that you like the video. It helps me get more views. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments section. I will be sure to respond if you do have any questions. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.